Hello and welcome to the Bro Chat for the People podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by a beer can collection for sale. Beer can collection for sale. I have thousands of 1970s and 80s steel pull tabs for sale at 50 cents to $1 each. I will also buy your collection. Call Mike at 352-299-6631. Available for pickup in Southwest Ocala, Florida. All right, let's go. All right, Tommy boy, we are back from a nice long weekend vacation full of sunshine and wonderful people.
I do love Florida, don't you?
I love Florida, especially this time of year. It's just absolutely wonderful.
It almost makes the summer worth it.
Almost. All right, Tom, do we have anything important to talk about today, or are we just kind of rambling on?
We got important things. We always have important things to talk about.
Whenever we're talking.
Our opinions about anything are important, so whatever we talk about makes it important.
That's true.
It's the kind of sway we have in the
podcast community, or for the people?
In the world.
Mm.
In the world. Well,
I hate to toot my own horn, but we are pretty fucking awesome.
I thought we talked about this, Daniel.
We did not. Oh yeah. We did get a letter. We got some fan mail today.
We did get some. Well, we hope to make this a regular segment. People send us fan mail either via Facebook or email
or even text message.
If you know us.
Yeah. So
let's start out with that today.
Yeah. Well,
got some constructive feedback from one of our fans.
Yes, and so it was a text message. So you guys know that this is somebody I'm close to because I don't have many contacts in my phone, and it's from a concerned listener, and it reads as such. By the way, I listened to your last 2 bro chats. Enjoyable. But I noticed you didn't use swear or vulgarity when chatting with Marie. Preferred the clean language. Don't think the F word in particular adds anything to the conversation. Damn or hell or something is, whatever. But F this and that is so off-putting and crude. You are college educated, by the way.
That's a great letter.
That's a wonderful letter. See, that's what we want here. We accept all forms of constructive criticism.
Even if it's, we don't accept destructive criticism, which is what most of the people who give us feedback are.
That's true.
But anyway, we're talking, we had some great politics happen on Saturday, which usually doesn't happen, but it did today.
Yeah, some exciting developments.
And we're adding some new segments today, just like the fan mail, answering fan mail.
Yeah, it's. I think the official title is "Letters from the People." So keep that in mind, guys.
We're going to give our responses for the people.
Oh, of course, always. Everything we do is for the people. For you guys, our wonderful listeners.
All right. Anyway, so Cruise 1, Kansas and Maine.
Trust Ted. 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 Trust Ted.
And Trump took Louisiana and Kentucky.
But Louisiana wasn't that hard of a blow because they both got the same number of delegates in that state.
I mean, well, I'm just saying, it's not like it was a clean sweep or anything.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. It's a step in the right direction.
Do you think it's enough of a step in the right direction?
I think it could be, depending on what happens from here on out. Cruz is right now, or Trump is at 384 delegates right now. Cruz has 300. So Trump is only 84 delegates ahead of Mr. Tedward Cruz. And I think I'm still riding this idea that if Rubio and Kasich both dropped out, Cruz would run away with this nomination.
It's possible. At least I think in the conservatives or the Republican states, or typically red states, he would. Mm-hmm. I don't know about like New York and California and a lot of those northeastern places.
Well, California's on the West Coast, but nice try. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You know what I mean. Just couldn't think of any other West Coast. I mean, like Washington, Oregon, I guess, are kind of Democratic.
That is our West Coast.
So, like, the West Coast and then the Northeast.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
It was, like, in addition.
But, hey, keep in mind that Mr. Ted Cruz won Maine.
That is true.
Which technically counts as the Northeast.
Technically. I mean, being from Massachusetts and New Hampshire, I don't know if we'd include Maine.
We don't really care about Maine. I don't think anyone cares about Maine. Even Mainers don't care about Maine.
But apparently it hasn't been destroyed like New Hampshire has by the Massachusetts people.
The influx of Massachusetts
residents. Because people forget Maine's there.
Because Massachusetts residents don't want to move to Maine. Oh goodness!
But so I think we're both kind of. I mean, you were pretty pro Rubio.
I was
towards the beginning in this podcast.
I liked Rubio, and I still do like Rubio. I just don't think he's got a shot, and I think he really does need to get out in order to give somebody else a shot, namely Mr. Cruz. So I'm willing to change my position to win, especially when the other option is Donald Trump.
You don't like Trump?
I'm not a huge fan. But he says some things I like.
So I mean, I think build that wall.
No, more like what he said about when he had all his supporters raise their right hands into the air and swear that they were gonna vote for him, and it was just kind of reminiscent of 1929 Adolf Hitler.
It's a little harsh.
Hey, well, I'm not saying he's Adolf Hitler. I'm just saying it looked like it.
Glenn Beck made the same comparison I saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. But, I mean, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, that isn't very surprising.
But, yeah, I mean, I think I would want our political expert to advise us on this, but I have a feeling that, I mean, Florida and Ohio on March 15th, I think they're both on the same day, is going to be massive, massive, massive.
Are we sure Ohio isn't the 8th on this coming Tuesday?
I'm not sure, no.
I'm not positive either.
I think I remember reading it at some point that they were both on the same day, and I was like, wow, that's crazy.
And they're both winner-take-all states, right?
Yeah, they are both winner-take-all, meaning they have, if you get 40% and the second person gets 39, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You get all the delegates, the other guy gets...
Thanks, Reince Priebus.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
the interesting thing about that is it's the two home states of the two idiots that are still in here.
I know.
So here's what it makes me think. Why are these people in here? Well, because their home states are in, right? You just think, maybe, if they're winner take all, it can change everything.
Yeah.
However, I don't think either of them even have enough delegates that it would change that much. Unless it started a landslide or something like that, which I don't think it would.
Yeah, Rubio's got like 150 right now, something like that. Kasich's got like 30. I think 37 is what I read.
Okay, so the other reason why these two guys would stay in this race is to make sure that Trump doesn't win those states. That's probably their.
Yeah. Which is kind of
their plan,
kind of what Mitt Romney was calling for, right? Almost, he didn't back one specific candidate because he was saying, anybody but Trump. And if you live in Ohio, please vote for John Kasich. If you live in Florida, vote for Rubio. If you live in Texas, vote for Cruz, type thing. So we get a brokered convention.
Yeah. So, well, here that's what I wanted to talk about was the fact that I didn't realize Mitt Romney was running for president.
His speech did sound a little bit like a campaign speech, didn't it?
It did.
Like I'm throwing my hat into the race now that I don't have to debate anyone. Now that we've already gone through 11 debates.
I mean, taking those two massive states away from either Trump or Cruz, and then continuing to just draw delegates away from them, might be enough to make this a contested convention. Which I don't. I'll just briefly explain it, just in case no one understands or you haven't heard of it. But basically, it's each person or each delegate is bound by bound by the vote of the people to vote at the convention at least once and usually twice. Because what happens at the convention is everyone just takes their vote, and a delegate or not a delegate, a runner the candidate. The candidate basically already has everything locked up, and it's just a victory party for him, and getting behind him and getting support. But in a contested convention, they don't have the majority of the delegates already signed up. So then it becomes everyone votes once and then votes twice, like to try to essentially to try to work it out.
Yeah.
The people who aren't bound by it can switch and stuff like that. Uh-huh. And then after the second one, pretty much you can vote for anybody you want.
Yeah.
So in that case, Mitt Romney could easily be elected.
Oh yeah.
Or not elected, but nominated for the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have two candidates right now who would most likely be, who are two front runners, who are both the two guys that the Republican establishment does not want. It's very clear. So it's almost, prime pickings for the establishment to put in somebody that they want, that they would like. And it's just like, this is kind of a perfect scenario for a guy like Mitt Romney to come in and just steal it away.
The only thing I'm like, we don't usually, even the GOP doesn't nominate the same person twice. Yeah. This is, I could understand their strategy, but why Mitt Romney? Why would they nominate Mitt Romney?
Well, he's a guy who can appeal to moderates and I think some conservatives. My only problem is with why they would, why would they nominate Mitt Romney? I guess, and who else are they going to nominate? Who's the establishment likes? I guess maybe Marco Rubio, but
maybe Marco,
but the people,
maybe Jeb.
But it seems like the people have spoken against both those guys, and they haven't technically spoken against Mitt Romney in this current election.
Yeah, in this current election, the amount of people that didn't show up to the last election was troubling.
That's the thing. Historically low voter turnout for the GOP in 2012 when Romney was the nominee, which is very concerning.
But
does the Republican establishment care as long as they get to nominate their guy?
No.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the question. That's the hot question.
I don't know. This would be really terrible for the party if this happened. Imagine the nonsense. Imagine how, the Trump supporters would be up in arms. Assuming he's leading
at that point,
at the time.
too, I think Trump would be almost guaranteed to run third party.
Yeah, if it was a contested,
if it was a contested convention and he didn't get the nomination,
yeah,
I think he would.
I vowed to get behind anyone on this stage.
Yeah, not
anyone. I hate that guy.
Keeps calling for my tax returns. I hate him. No, he said I was bad at business. Oh gosh, he can kick rocks.
But all the people, even if he didn't run third party, all the people who voted for Trump, assuming it's like I don't know what would be like something close. It's close between Trump and Cruz, mm-hmm. And then Rubio and Kasich have enough just to, make it
to be there,
and all the Trump people will be pissed, and they would not be happy with Romney.
Yeah,
all the Cruz people would be pissed too because. He's more Republican than Donald Trump is, and he's leading, and he's a conservative. And by that point, if it gets to that point, in order for it to get to that point, he has to get a lot of delegates. Mm-hmm. And of course, he's the conservative people, like the constitutionalist side of the Republican Party.
Yeah,
and they would all be pissed.
Yeah,
and I think. My idea is that pretty much everybody but Trump will beat Hillary. Because I don't think Bernie's got any chance anymore.
No. Even though he did take.
I don't think Romney, coming out of a contested convention, has any chance of winning.
The convention is towards the end of August. Then you've got 2 months to campaign against Hillary Clinton. And you haven't been involved in the campaign at all for the last year,
Everyone's pissed off.
And everyone's pissed off. The entire Republican Party is pissed off, and that's just such an uphill battle to climb, especially for a guy who's lost to McCain in 2008 and lost to Obama in 2012. The track record's not good there in politics for old Mitt. It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah, I don't know who else could they nominate.
I mean, to me, it's completely obvious what the establishment needs to do here. You look back at 2010 when the Republicans won 60 seats in the House and 9 or something or 5 seats in the Senate or whatever, and then 2014 when after Obama got reelected in 2012, the midterms. You look at they got more seats in the House, and they ended up getting a majority in the Senate because it was a movement that was kind of led by this idea that the Tea Party originally was promulgating, come back to actual conservative values, and that's why all these people got elected, and the Republican establishment has done nothing to reward or to in gratitude, I guess, for all those seats that they got, that the grassroots movements, grassroots conservative movements have all those seats they've won for them. They've just kind of oh, thanks guys, bye, we don't care about you, and that's really why people are mad. That's why a lot of Republicans and conservatives are really, really upset with the party. So it's pretty clear that the party should be backing a candidate who was at the center of that movement. Someone like Ted Cruz, for example.
Hey, I'm all for it. I've been a Cruz guy for a long time.
The only question is whether Cruz has the I guess political charism. How about that and stances and to win over moderates who are probably going to be the ones who decide this election.
Yeah, I think if you run a decent enough campaign where you're not just down and dirty, but not, I'm taking the high road. I'm not going to talk about Hillary Clinton's Benghazi. It never. I mean, that's what Mitt tried to do against Obama. It did not work at all. No one cared. So, I mean, as long as Cruz can attack Hillary, I think she has done so much damage to herself that. Mm-hmm. I mean, you even see articles in typically liberal newspapers just harassing her.
I still to this day have met and know many Democrats who are planning on voting for Hillary when she wins the nomination, and not a single one of them is excited about her. And they're kind of oh, well, we have to vote for her because she's all we've got. And they're kind of pissed off, too, because they're well, really, this is the best we can do.
But if it's not Trump, you might actually get some of those people well, I thought it was going to be Trump.
Yeah.
But it's not Trump, so I'll just vote for this guy. Because, I don't know anything about him, because I don't pay attention to anything, and that's why I'm a liberal Democrat.
Jeez. Harsh words.
Drones, man. They're drones.
Mm-hmm.
Just listen to that liberal media all the time.
Oh man, I can't blame them. It's easier. I mean, I can blame them, but it is easier.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I could see why you would think that.
It's easier to be just a liberal in this day and age. It absolutely is. So much less judgment.
Yeah, it's true.
So much less,
You can say whatever you want without anyone thinking anything of you.
There's nobody in your face ever about how dare you? You believe this? You believe this about abortion? Yeah, the PC police, exactly.
Are there microaggressions going on here against people of, minorities?
Yeah. Well, no. He said this. Excuse me? He or she is an agenderphobic microaggression. You are a bigot. Oh, gosh.
All right, let's move on from this. Again, this is just making me depressed, thinking that the GOP will get their way in the end. Either that or Donald Trump will get his way. Yeah. And poor Ted Cruz is going to be just left out in the cold.
Yeah.
It's going to be so depressing.
True that.
Anyway, so let's stick in one of our segments now. It's actually kind of on the political political side of things, so it's more news. It's called "What Happened to That Thing Since We Stopped Caring About It." In this segment, we're going to be talking about news, because we know the news cycle. Something really important comes in and maybe dominates news for like maybe a month.
Yeah,
if it's really big, or maybe a weekend.
As we've heard people say, it's that 24-hour American news cycle.
And then people forget about it. So this might be a blast from the past. But Danny, you've done some research on this to find out, what's
some research. Well, there's not much to research.
There's not much to research.
It's pretty much the same situation that's been going on for 2 years.
It's remember that whole Ukraine thing?
Yeah, I do. And everyone was so up in arms. Oh, Russia annexing Crimea and taking over Ukraine and trying to do all this stuff. They're trying to take over eastern Ukraine. Well, that's still happening, everybody. It's just more of a slow move-in, and so people don't really care about it. But that's still happening. Crimea is still annexed. The Ukrainian government is in shambles and about to fall apart, and that is when Russia plans on slowly moving in and taking it back. So, yeah, I guess that's...
So, why should we care about this?
Well, why should we care? Well, first of all, there was the biggest reason is the Budapest Pact or agreement, whatever it was called, in 1994 that the Clinton administration was so heavy on, where Ukraine agreed to, in 94, give up their nuclear arsenal in exchange for promises and diplomatic assurances from Russia. We all know those are great. That they would not try to take them over. No land grabs. We won't have nukes. You guys don't try any land grabs. It was working for 20 solid years until 2014 when Putin decided that he wanted Crimea. And there was nothing Ukraine could do about it because, well, they gave up their nukes. and then he also knew that the U.S. wasn't going to do anything about it because he's already played Barack Obama so many times, more times than you can count. So... he's an opportunist. What can I say? He took his shot. And right now it's still paying off for him. And it just looks bad because, and maybe this is why we haven't seen it in the news lately, because Great Britain and the U.S. were huge backers of Ukraine with this agreement, and now it's like they've just left them out in the cold, and they're just going to let Russia take them over. It just doesn't look good. And also, Russia's just... what happened the last time a major European power tried to annex a country? That was Germany and Poland, I believe.
Didn't, Russia drive into Georgia one time, though?
Yeah, but we stopped them. See, that's the thing. Yeah. We didn't stop them yet with this one, and we've all forgotten about it.
Yep, so... that's what happened to that thing since we stopped caring about it.
Stopped caring. Yeah, it's still happening, everybody. I know. It was surprising to me, too. I was like, oh, my gosh, I haven't heard anything about that since, June of 2014 or whatever. Goodness gracious. Well, anything else?
Yeah. Yeah, we still got things, Daniel.
Yeah, I know.
We still got a lot of things to talk about.
I know, I'm just trying to get back to House of Cards right now.
I can understand that. The new season has come out, so I haven't gotten any chances.
I know. I just watched the first episode today, and I'm halfway through the second. I had to pause just to do this podcast because I care so much about you listeners. And Tom threatened me with physical violence.
All right, so it's official. Peyton Manning retired.
Good for him. I think most of us will agree, probably the right choice as far as his play was this year.
Yeah,
maybe,
for sure.
Maybe there's some part of him that's still hoping he's got something left in the tank and can come back in 2 years or something and play for the LA Rams and win a Super Bowl.
But I think that was this year. Yeah. He was so bad at the end of last year and
That's true.
Throughout the entire this was just I hope I can come back and be great again and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, he got one end of that, but he definitely didn't play great.
That's true.
But whatever. He has 2 Super Bowls. Tom Brady has 4.
Tom Brady and his brother still have the same amount of Super Bowls as the Manning brothers. Tom Brady doesn't even have a brother. Oh gosh, but we're not even Patriots fans. Tom Brady's just an objectively good quarterback. We don't even really like him that much.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like the taste in my mouth.
No,
I said that.
No.
I can't. Tom Brady is everything.
Let's not get carried away.
I don't know, man. We just signed him to that 2-year extension. I'm so happy about it.
That's true.
We've got him till he's 42.
It is going to be free agent signing season soon.
Yeah, so
which is pretty exciting. I'm
probably
pretty
talk
excited
about that coming up.
Oh yeah, all the big signings. You guys will hear our opinion of it.
Oh yeah, our invaluable opinions.
And also coming up soon. We're reminded of it today by FGCU winning. Is that the tournament is approaching?
Yes, that's right. And Dunk City is going back to the tourney for the second time since 2013.
So finally, after this lull in the sports news world, where we have to talk about things like the NBA regular season.
Yeah, just like how the Lakers beat the Warriors today.
That's really embarrassing.
The Lakers now have 13 wins, and the Warriors still have 56. Or 55, whatever it is. 55, yeah, they're 55 and 6.
Yeah.
That's it. So, still have a really good shot to finish, to break the Bulls record. They just have to go 18-3 for the rest of the way. And when you go 55-6, 18-3 should be no problem. I mean, maybe they're getting tired, though.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Steph and Clay shot 1 for 18 from 3 today, so that's telling.
You also kind of got to look at their schedule, though, to see if they got any tough games. I don't think they have anything. They don't have, like, a crazy stretch.
They've got one more with the Spurs, but 15 of their remaining 21 games are at home, so that's a good sign.
That's absurd.
And they're undefeated at home this year, so
that's a good sign. I saw something about them, like they haven't lost, or they lost only one game to like a playoff team, and the rest are just garbage teams.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Well, their first loss was against the Bucks, who are a garbage team. This latest one was the Lakers. Who else have they lost to? I don't know. Did they lose to the 76ers? And the Brooklyn Nets. They lost to every team that will not get 20 wins this season. Oh, goodness.
So what do we see next for Peyton Manning? Retire a couple of years, come back as a coach, maybe retire and we never see him ever again until...
I think we'll see him again. If not on Papa John's commercials, probably coaching. Probably start out as a quarterbacks coach for some team or something, or even maybe go into his analyzing. Analyzing. But the thing is, he's kind of got that dumb voice.
Yeah.
But Lou Holtz can do it. And if Lou Holtz can talk on TV, anybody can.
That's true. What if he just did something completely different, like went into acting?
I could see that. I mean, he's always done a good job on
just
SNL,
like The Rock went from WWE to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, acting. No, I could see it, but I mean,
I
can't see him playing any leads. He's not good looking enough, but
I think he's going to be a great actor. Just watching him flop all over the field every single time someone's like coming to hit him. Remember that time in that game where he
gave himself up?
He gave himself up, and then he just got back
up.
And
nobody touched me. I'm gonna. You're like, wait a second here. He just slid. He just fell over. Like, that's a quarterback giving himself up. But whatever. Refs didn't call it. Didn't happen.
It's Peyton Manning.
There's a lot of respect for that guy. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Peyton Manning. He had a great career, one of the best careers of any quarterback. But I just like to make fun of him. He's kind of easy to make fun of.
He is easy to make fun of, especially now that we have some traction.
Bill Cosby's still the king of rape jokes, though. Which something you should never joke about.
Of course. We're not joking about it.
I would never joke about rape. Don't look at me. Jeez.
All right.
I feel dirty.
I'm just going to drop it.
Let's just go. Let's just move on.
Move on.
Today, Tom, what happened today in unsurprising headlines?
Well, unsurprising headlines. North Korea threatened a preemptive nuclear strike on South Korea and the United States.
Oh, really? Preemptive? Preempting what?
I don't know.
Or is the U.S. going to attack North Korea?
It's just classic
South
propaganda.
Korea. Yeah, South Korea promoting violence against North Korea? I don't think that's ever happened. Oh, my word.
But that was pretty unsurprising.
Completely unsurprising.
They're constantly doing stuff like that.
Oh, of course.
We're firing missiles. You're in our land.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well,
We've got big muscles.
word on the street is Kim Jong, his son, Un. Mm-hmm. Un. Yeah, Il is the older one. Un. Kim Jong Un is might be losing his grip. That's the word on the street. That's all I've heard.
Losing his grip, like mentally.
Like no,
Or,
like
on
there might
power?
be like a military coup against him.
That would
brewing.
probably be bad.
Oh, I don't think it would be good. I'm not saying it would be good. I'm just saying that's the word on the street. Literally, you know.
What word on the street?
Jimmy on the corner told me that.
The guy sitting on his soapbox holding the cardboard sign.
Yeah, he asked me for a cigarette too, and I gave him one because I didn't have any cash on me. So we shared a cigarette, and he told me that North Korea was losing or Kim Jong Un was losing his grip on North Korea.
Little did you know he's a spy who used to work undercover in North Korea.
Quite possible. Who knows? I mean, the way the U.S. treats their vets.
Oh.
That's a zinger. That's a poor zingus.
but totally fair.
Oh, there was another unsurprising headline today that CNN reported a study that goth kids are more likely to be depressed.
Dear
Who knew? Oh my gosh.
So many unsurprising. I mean, when you think about it, the news cycle is so repetitive and so dumb that, I mean, you see the same news every day, and no one cares.
No one cares.
And no one looks at it. And that's why
That's why we're here.
that's to tell you the important things. Like the fact that Peyton Manning retired and he sexually assaulted some poor woman and then lied
his
about
wife his wife used a shit ton of HGH.
it. Yes, she did do that.
Fun stuff. Oh goodness.
So we mentioned maybe 5 podcasts ago that Joseph Randall had been arrested
For the fifth time. Yeah.
in 17 months.
Yeah. Well, what happened?
Well, he's now been arrested for the 6th time in 17 months. He for failing to appear in court, and now his bail is $150,000. So he better be. He's definitely doesn't have $150,000 now that he's not in the NFL.
He could have. He had potential at the very least to be maybe not a featured back. He had a couple good games, but maybe not a featured back. But have a role to play in some backfield, and make it a couple mil a year or $1 million a year or whatever. But I mean, this is why kids you don't want to get arrested 6 times in 17 months. Yeah, a year and a half or so.
Staying along the NFL lines, free agency looming. Who do you want to see? Who do you want to see the Patriots get?
Well, I know there are 2 specific people who come to mind. Well, we could go with 3. 3 specific people that come to mind. I believe Vincent Jackson is a free agent as well from the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Bucs.
Okay.
I would like them to get Vincent Jackson or a Vincent Jackson type, somebody who's big and can be a deep threat, especially now that Brandon LaFell is gone and never really was a deep threat for us. I would like to see them get either Matt Forte or Arian Foster. I would prefer Matt Forte because I think he would complement very well with Deion Lewis, and he's not made of glass like Arian Foster is. And Deion Lewis is as well. And I would like to see them get an edge pass rusher like Mario Williams, but I think that is maybe where you and I disagree. At least, maybe not on the edge pass rusher, but on Mario Williams specifically.
Yeah, I don't think Mario Williams is the type of player that we would. I don't think he would work that well.
What about
But I would actually like to see them get somebody like Jake Long.
You mean Chris Long? Jake Long's the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the offensive lineman?
Yeah.
You don't want a defensive lineman like Chris Long?
Did you watch what happened in the AFC Championship game?
Of course I did. And look, I'm not saying I don't want offensive
and
line
Brady
help.
is not getting any younger.
I was talking to you about this right before we started recording this, that I'd like to see them get offensive line help. So there.
You just lied to the people.
What are you talking about? We talked about this. What's wrong with you?
Okay, well,
How dare you?
what do you think
insult.
We
my
gotta
good name.
like we gotta try to branch out a little bit here. Who do you want? Who do you think would be good fits for Cleveland?
RG3.
Say it.
No, I don't think RG3 would be a good fit. I do not think RG3 would be a good fit. They don't have a quarterback. I think they should draft one. They should sign Brock Osweiler.
Brock Osweiler. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick's also.
Ryan Fitzpatrick could also be. I don't know if he.
Which one would you prefer
for the Cleveland?
Browns?
I would prefer Brock Osweiler.
Because we know so much about winning teams. We're trying to just help people out.
Yeah. I would prefer Brock Osweiler because he's a young guy who we're still not quite sure what his potential is.
That's
we
true.
know what Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to give you. He had an especially good season this year, but
they missed the playoffs because Ryan Fitzpatrick turned back into Ryan Fitzpatrick in the last quarter.
And Brock
Osweiler's
got some potential, possibly. And he's a big guy with a really strong arm. It's something that Cleveland hasn't had.
Been learning under Peyton Manning for the last couple of years.
Learning under Peyton Manning, that's always a good sign. I mean, it worked for Aaron Rodgers under Brett Favre, but also Aaron Rodgers is vastly more talented. But anyway, I would like to also see them draft a quarterback, potentially someone like Connor Cook from Michigan State, and develop him. Don't just throw him into the starting lineup in the first game of the first season.
But I mean, should they spend the money on Brock if they're just going to draft him? And Brock could be the guy. He could be the guy that gets him to the playoffs.
He could be.
I'm not going to say he gets him to the Super Bowl, but he could get him to the playoffs. You put a decent defense behind him.
Josh Gordon comes back.
Josh Gordon comes back with the big guy with the big arm.
Mm-hmm. You give him maybe a good running back. I don't know. They didn't really have much of a running game this season.
Running backs are dead.
Yeah, but you need somebody. You need a versatile back still.
That's true.
You do. Somebody who can catch passes, pass block, and average 4.5 yards a carry.
Okay, how about the Bears?
The Bears, I would like to see them get defensive line help. Their defense is absolutely atrocious.
So maybe Mario Williams for them.
Well, maybe a Mario Williams for them.
They seem like they would have.
Julius Peppers worked out when he was on the older side, and he worked out for the Bears all right. Jared Allen, I think they signed for a year, right? Jared Allen was on the Bears last year.
I think so, yeah.
Before he went to the Panthers and is now retired. Did you see his retirement video, by the way?
No.
He was on a horse, and he's like, well, I was going to ride off into the sunset, but it was a cloudy day. But as you can see, there's no sunset, so I'm just going to ride off. And he just turned around and rode away on a horse. It was really funny. But anyway, the Bears need serious defense help. Their offense, I mean, it looks like they're not going to re-sign Matt Forte. They're going with what's his name, Langford, who showed a lot of promise. Their offense, I mean, and they've got some good wide receivers and some good pieces. They need to re-sign Alshon Jeffrey.
They also got what's his name coming off, White.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin White,
yeah,
he was injured all last year.
Top 10 draft pick,
but
injured all.
You know what I would like to see them do?
It all comes down to Jay Cutler.
Yeah, you know what I'd like to see them do?
Get rid of Jay Cutler.
Publicly behead him and then sign RG3.
I mean, look, I can't say I disagree with this because RG3, yeah, he had a great first season. He tore his ACL and then he just never played well again and got benched. That's Washington. Washington, but to say the guy can't play football anymore, like, take a flyer on RG3. Like, he's got potential. We saw how good he could be. Like, why not take a flyer?
Actually, I'm trying to figure out. I was going to say maybe we don't have to publicly behead him because you'll probably still have to pay him. And then I was going to say, well, we'll frame him for murder, but apparently you still have to pay him.
No, you still have to pay them then. Yeah, because
how do they get out of paying him?
Hernandez, but they still have to pay him. So yeah, he's the richest person in that prison.
Just get rid of him. Get rid of Jay Cutler somehow. Maybe just have him disappear.
Well, I think we could all agree that it was kind of a dumb decision to sign him to a 7-year, $127 million contract in the first place.
Yeah, and those Bears fans kind of love that.
Yeah.
I mean, how many years? I mean, he's been there a while. How many years he got left? Like 2, 3?
I think he's got 3 left.
That's going to be a hard 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. And
someone needs to start a petition.
Maybe try to trade him. Maybe a team like Los Angeles would take Jay Cutler.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, he's better than Case Keenum at the very least.
That's not hard.
Jeff Fisher came out and said, and the owner, Kroenke, came out and were like, "We believe in Case Keenum." Okay, guys, enough. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourselves.
Yeah. I mean, like, they have to make a good showing when they're in LA. If they just show up and suck as badly as they did before, then
I know. They've got to do something. Their defense is solid, although now Chris Long's gone and James Laurinaitis is gone. Who were two backbones of their defense, but they're pretty expensive. So, but they're a good defensive team. They beat the Seahawks twice last year. I mean, that was a big deal. They've always had the Seahawks number, but they can't do anything. What were they, 7-9? They weren't bad last year. They weren't terrible.
They actually made a run at the end, didn't they? The people thought they might be able to make the playoffs because
the
wild card was so bad.
Who did make the wild card?
Seahawks.
Why can't I remember this? Seahawks
were the 6th seed.
Well, then who was the other one? The Packers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Minnesota.
Vikings.
The Vikings,
The Vikings, yeah. But they were both 10-6, yeah, I guess. So, no, they weren't really that close.
Well, there was an idea that they, a couple games prior, before the Seahawks, won 4 straight or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
probably after they beat the Seahawks the second time.
What other fan bases should we cover from our viewers? People who want to hear about their teams.
Well, there's a player that I've always liked from our own hometown team of hometown being Naples, Florida, that I'm referring to, not actual hometown. The Miami Dolphins, who have a wonderful running back in Lamar Miller. And I would love to see him go somewhere that his talents are fully utilized. And I haven't thought about where that could be right now.
I don't know, dude. I love Lamar Miller. How do you love Lamar Miller?
I've had him on my fantasy team for 3 years.
But
and he's performed he's performed really well in spots, and I'm just like, oh. And then he gets 20 carries and he rushes for 150 yards, and then the next game they're like, oh, you only get 6 today. You're like, come on, Miami, what's wrong with you?
Well, that's Miami for you.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to talk about Miami. They're a terrible franchise.
And I don't think anyone's
Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphin #1. I've been to a couple Dolphins games because they were playing the Patriots.
Me too.
Down here.
It's really quite horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you sit there and everyone's rooting for the Patriots the entire time.
I know. And the red, because a lot of Patriots fans are wearing the red jerseys or the red T-shirts, and it just really clashes with those orange seats. Just not so aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's an intriguing team? What do the Packers have to do to get Aaron Rodgers back to the? I mean, Jordy Nelson's coming back. That's a huge deal, obviously. But
top 5 wide receiver is coming back.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all they have to do.
I mean, they were in contention the year before.
Yeah.
And even last year they were in contention.
They made the second round. They played a good game.
They got smoked by they almost got really lucky and then got unlucky against the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's what it was.
With the multiple Hail Marys.
Cardinals. How do the Cardinals get over the hump? I think they're a great team.
It's so
but
hard.
It just seems like Carson Palmer's struggling in the playoffs.
He's such a good regular season quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really great last year. And I don't see an available QB out there that could do as well as him in the regular season / get them to the playoffs and then actually perform in the playoffs. I mean, maybe, it's just one of those things. If he continues getting there, just like when, how Peyton Manning was, just almost had it. And then he finally broke through one year and when they beat the Bears. Maybe he'll get lucky and, they'll face maybe the Jets will somehow slide into the Super Bowl in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and they'll get lucky and they'll just be like, the Jets, yes. And they'll just smoke them.
Exactly.
Roll them up and smoke them.
I don't think they need a quarterback change, and I don't think they need a defensive change.
And they've got. I think David Johnson too is a nice little running back that they've got there.
And they've got those 2 nice young wide receivers too.
Mm-hmm. And Floyd and Roberts. Is it Roberts? John Roberts. John Roberts is a Supreme Court justice.
Shoot.
John Brown, right? That's who
it
is. It's John Brown and Michael
yeah.
Floyd, and then obviously Larry Fitz is still playing at a high level.
Yeah, actually played at a really high level this game. But I mean, maybe our fans who are still listening and they want to know, or they have a team that they follow that they want us to talk about, we can make sure we'll cover it, or any signings that they get. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening this deep into the podcast, you probably are a real fan, so we will get to it.
You're welcome for talking about the Browns, Colby.
And I can't believe we talked about the Bears.
No, in honor of Teddy Pence, who was supposed to be a guest today and decided that he wanted to watch a movie and stay home instead. So should we let him back on at all? Depending on how well he treats us in Tampa on Tuesday, I think we should make our decision.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're going... Oh, shoot, what are we going to do for the podcast?
We're just going to
have to do it.
We're just going to have to do it after the game and just possibly be a little bit blitzed.
Yeah, so you can look forward to that on the Wednesday podcast, because Danny and I are going up to Tampa to watch the Bruins Lightning game, which has a lot of. I mean, it's like a possible playoff matchup.
Oh yeah,
2 playoff teams most likely right now. So
with
it should be a fun game.
Yeah, and we'll be watching with another Bruins fan, Chris Desolitz, and a Blackhawks fan, Teddy Pence.
I hate those Blackhawks.
Those Blackhawks, man.
We'll get vengeance on the Lightning for. No, actually, no. The Lightning lost.
Yeah, the Lightning lost.
We're just going to pile on the Lightning for losing to the Blackhawks last year. Those stupid faces, letting the Blackhawks win again.
Oh, stupid Blackhawks.
But anyway, I think we're just about out of time here.
We've got a little Tom's take for us, don't we?
We do actually have a little Tom's take.
Tom's take.
Okay, so
we didn't do that last podcast.
I did forget about it too.
Jeez, a little rusty.
And Maurice Miller's we didn't do.
Oh, that's right. Oh shoot, is that 2 in a row? That's 2 in a row. Oh my gosh! Wow. I hope I sound good.
Don't worry, you're classically trained.
Classically trained.
Anyway, so my pet peeve today. It's more of a deeply ingrained pet peeve of mine is, you're sitting there and you're making breakfast for a bunch of people, and you're cooking some bacon, and you got through a couple batches, but you're sitting there cooking at it, and those people who just come up and just like break off a little piece because they want to taste it, because they can't wait 10 minutes for you to finish and actually serve it to them like it's supposed to be. You've been cooking there for 40 minutes cooking bacon, and you haven't tasted it at all, and then they come along and you just want to chop off their arm because, like literally the urge is to just chop off their arm if they reach for the bacon. Or it doesn't even have to be bacon. It can be anything. You're cooking like pulled pork or something, and, you finally get it out after a 6-hour process, and someone just comes with a little fork and like, I'm going to try this and taste test this. Like, get out of here, you little rat. I don't know. Maybe this is just me, but...
No, it's not.
maybe this is for the people. You're not alone.
For the people.
Those really violent impulses you get when people try to attack the food that you're preparing.
For the people. The really psychotic people. No, I don't think you're alone in that, Tom. That was an excellent Tom's take, brought to you by the Washington Bullets. Seriously, guys, like, the Bullets or the Wizards. Not a hard choice. But yeah, and Tom, I'll admit, I think I've done this to you before, actually.
You definitely have.
I've definitely picked at what you're making.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, this is delicious, Tom. I'm going to eat it all before you even finish cooking. And I apologize, but I mean, it's just so good. You're just such a wonderful chef. Just shower him with compliments when he forgives you.
It's not working. I still have anger in my soul.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Well, I can tell you that I haven't done it in a long time, so this must be from something new that's recent, something recent that's happened to you.
Yes, it's mostly Colby, actually. He does this a lot.
Oh, and he's not even your brother yet.
Like,
it would be okay if Paul did it. Because at least he's part of the family. Colby, you got to wait till it's official before you start picking at the goods.
Shut up.
I hate myself right now. Oh, stupid sense of humor.
Anyway, so that's it for us, guys. Like us on Facebook. We get people who actually listen to it to like our Facebook page.
Feel free to share the video on your own Facebook wall, guys. It's just a Facebook wall. Don't nothing to be scared of.
I mean, you don't have to share every one. Just like if you really like one, share it. Just maybe get a couple more viewers in here.
Yeah,
a couple more bro chatters.
The late great Alexis Stipend did that.
She did.
It was much appreciated.
Late.
No, I think what happened? I think she's still alive, but you never know what happens over spring break.
All right. Anyways, guys, we love you, Colby.
We love you, Colby.
Keep listening to us, Colby.
We enjoy making your work, school, or baby day that much more enjoyable.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Peace.